Once upon a time, in a distant forest teeming with fruit-laden trees, fragrant pines, colorful blooms, and lush vegetation under a pleasant and pristine climate, thrived a diverse community of animals and birds. Among them were monkeys, rabbits, pigs, deer, partridges, mountain goats, pigeons, and numerous species of desert birds. With an abundance of vegetables and fruits gracing the forest, all creatures lived contentedly. However, adjacent to this forest, there dwelled a formidable and merciless lion who preyed upon the inhabitants. Each day, he lay in wait behind foliage, ready to pounce upon any unsuspecting lone creature, rending them apart for his sustenance. The animals were powerless against the lion, and gradually, the once idyllic life in the forest soured into one filled with dread. None could be certain of returning home safe and sound upon venturing out. They all lived under the ominous shadow of the lion's threat, fearing the fatal encounter. Among the rabbits of this desert, there emerged one particularly astute individual. This clever rabbit conceived a plan to alleviate the distress and fear that gripped the forest's denizens. After sharing his plan with a select group of animals, they found it agreeable, recognizing the sagacity of the clever rabbit. Convinced of its efficacy, they resolved to inform all the creatures in the forest. Thus, the entire menagerie of forest inhabitants assembled at the lion's abode, with the clever rabbit chosen as their emissary to address the lion. With respect, the rabbit entered the lion's lair and began.
"Great lion! The inhabitants of the forest have empowered me to speak on their behalf. We acknowledge your superior strength and might, and we, rabbits, are but feeble creatures. Regrettably, you do not partake of vegetation, and thus, you are the natural apex predator. Lions, by their nature, are carnivores, and we cannot alter this fact. However, your cruelty towards us is unwarranted. Each day, you seize, rob, slay, and devour one of us. Our offspring can no longer roam freely in the forest, shackled by the specter of your presence. You have cast a pall of deathly fear upon us all. We have come to seek an accord, so that all may dwell securely."
The lion inquired.
"What arrangement do you propose that would be advantageous for me while also securing benefits for myself?"
The clever rabbit replied.
"Yes, we propose to establish an agreement between you and us, the oppressed denizens of this forest. As long as you refrain from hunting us, the oppressed creatures of this forest, we shall remain safe. We commit to selecting a plump animal suitable for your sustenance and delivering it to you daily. In this manner, you shall be spared the trouble of hunting, and the weaker creatures shall experience their days free from the specter of predation. This way, you shall have a ready supply of food, and we shall enjoy days of tranquility. This arrangement, however, hinges upon your pledge to confine yourself to 1 meal per day and refrain from hunting further."
"Very well,"
assented the lion.
"I agree, but I stipulate that you must ensure my sustenance arrives promptly at noon each day. Until the day's end, you shall all be secure. I shall content myself with 1 meal, but woe betide you should my sustenance be delayed, then, your day shall turn dark indeed. I shall descend upon the forest, and you shall all become my prey. Honor your promise to me, as you have declared."
The clever rabbit and the other animals accepted the lion's terms. From then on, a group of animals took turns selecting one among them, who had committed an egregious transgression and thus faced punishment. Alongside the clever rabbit, they presented this animal to the forest lion for consumption. On days when there were no transgressors, lots were drawn. Each day, a different animal group would fulfill this duty. One day the pigs, another the mountain goats, then the deer, the monkeys, the rabbits, and so forth. Time passed, and things proceeded according to this agreement until it was the rabbit's turn again. All the rabbits gathered and drew lots, and fate selected the clever rabbit's brother. Addressing the assembly, the clever rabbit stood upon a high hill and declared,
"Dear forest inhabitants, recall the time when the specter of the lion cast a shadow over us all. None knew peace, and my proposition brought respite. Do you not agree?
The assembly responded, "Indeed, your proposal was wise."
Today, however,
Continued the clever rabbit,
the lot has fallen upon my brother. Shall we refuse, then, to offer him to the lion, thus breaking the very pact we established in our own righteousness? No, we cannot deviate from the established law, affirmed the clever rabbit. Both my brother and I stand prepared for sacrifice. Yet, I have devised a plan that, if enacted, may free us all from the lion's tyranny forever.
questioned the animals. "Is that possible? Pray, share your plan."
Regrettably, I cannot divulge the plan now, for fear that word might leak beyond the forest's confines, explained the clever rabbit. The plan is akin to a war strategy, best kept secret. My family is among you, should I deceive or flee, hold them hostage. However, I assure you, I shall not deceive or flee, for deceit and falsehood invariably lead to disgrace and dishonor.
Moved by their trust in the clever rabbit, the animals agreed to follow his lead. They granted him the time he requested and sent him forth alone. The clever rabbit waited 2 hours before proceeding alone and quietly to the lion's lair. Meanwhile, the lion grew increasingly irate as the hours passed without news from the animals. Accustomed to punctual deliveries, he seethed with hunger and felt slighted by their delay. In his frustration, he privately threatened retribution, vowing to descend upon the forest and hunt them all. Suddenly, the lion spotted the rabbit in the distance. The clever rabbit's countenance was one of sadness and trepidation as he approached. Upon reaching the lion, he greeted him with the air of one on the verge of tears.
"You, craven rabbit,
Bellowed the lion.
where have you tarried? I have gone without sustenance for hours, and my mealtime has come and gone. Why are you alone? Have the animals forgotten their promise? Where is my food?"
No, sir, we did not forget.
The clever rabbit explained.
I come on behalf of the animals. As per our agreement, they dispatched a plump rabbit with me at noon. We were hurrying to deliver your lunch, but halfway there, we encountered a strange lion, whose appearance was strikingly similar to yours. He forcibly took the rabbit. Despite my pleas that this rabbit was intended for our great lion, he ignored me. The stranger then arrogantly questioned the legitimacy of our big lion. He asserted his own superiority, claiming no other lion surpassed him in might. He even dared any lion to challenge him, boasting of his invincibility. He hurled insults, warning that he would hunt down anyone who dared to challenge him. I would have confronted him, but I lacked the means. Fearing for my life, I fled and came to report this incident. The strange lion has threatened to come every day and seize the food we bring to you.
Hungry and embittered, the lion seethed with anger at the thought of a rival in the forest. He demanded of the rabbit,
"Where's this strange lion? Can you lead me to him so I can face and defeat him?"
Yes, I can.
affirmed the clever rabbit.
The strange lion is nearby, just beyond those trees.
"Then let us go swiftly, so I may confront him."
Commanded the lion. The clever rabbit and the lion sprinted out of the forest, arriving near a verdant hill beside a large, gushing stream. Suddenly, the rabbit halted.
"Why do you hesitate?"
Demanded the lion.
In this well, there lies the strange lion, and I fear him.
Confessed the clever rabbit.
"Foolish rabbit, you need not fear anyone as long as I am here.
Scoffed the lion.
Now, watch as I vanquish this strange lion."
Seeking to unnerve the lion, the rabbit cautioned.
Sir, be cautious, for this strange lion resembles you in every way and possesses equal strength.
"Just show him to me, and do not interfere."
Growled the lion.
Your meal is in this well, and I fear to proceed further.
Insisted the clever rabbit. Incensed, the lion surged ahead, stopping at the well. The clever rabbit followed, standing between the lion's paws as they both peered into the water. The rabbit presented a reflection of themselves, both lion and rabbit, submerged in the water.
See? This is the strange lion, and this is the rabbit he took from me, which he has not yet consumed.
Believing he faced a formidable adversary, the lion impulsively hurled himself into the well, hoping to engage the foe. Tragically, he met his end, drowning in the water. Safely returning, the clever rabbit shared the joyful news with the animals. They rejoiced, recognizing that in many instances, the power of intellect and strategic planning surpassed sheer force and might. One of the primary benefits of harnessing the power of thought is its versatility. Physical strength may be limited to specific tasks or situations, but the power of thought knows no bounds. With an agile mind, one can adapt to various challenges, finding creative solutions and strategies that may not be immediately apparent. By employing critical thinking, problem-solving, and innovation, individuals can navigate complex situations with ease.